Mm. I haven't been doing a crazy amount, but just kind of the usual. Like played an event, came second, which was pretty neat. So that was pretty cool. Burying the lead a little bit, but like everyone that's going to be watching this probably has already seen the standings for the event. But no, it was really fun. Had a great weekend. Flew up to Auckland on Friday, and yeah, caught up with some friends, and then yeah, Saturday Sunday had the event, which we're going to be going over, so that'll be fun. And then yeah, and then had a pretty horrible night's sleep on the Sunday night, and then my flight on Monday morning was delayed by 2 hours, which was ideal. Um, but besides that, it was awesome. Like I had such a great weekend. Work's been hellish since I've been back this week, so like been like super stressed with that, but it's been good. But like I'm still like off the buzz of playing 40k all weekend and playing teams 40k as well, which is my favorite way to play 40k. Yeah.
Yeah. Similarly, still on sort of the weekend buzz from being at that same tournament. I mean, third, but that's very much, I guess, Benchwarmers MO consistently coming third. Uh, we were undefeated, so that was cool. But yeah, uh, it was yeah, no, it was a really really cool weekend. It was super exhausting though, especially that first day. It was such a
Like we started at what 8:15 and then finished at like 7:30. So yeah, and I think I had about 3 hours sleep because I stayed at Ryan's and it was this horrible airbed that we slept on. But at least I slept pretty well the next night because I was just dead.
How did that because I was we had like 3 hour rounds and like a hour and a half hour break between rounds, and we were like 9 till 7:30 or 9 till 7:15. How did you guys like? How long were the rounds? Were they short or
Three and a quarter.
Three and a quarter, yeah. 15-minute pairings and then 3 hour
Yeah.
rounds was the idea, I think.
Yeah.
yeah? Interesting.
Yeah, no, it was.
No.
I think, which I think was fine. I think because the event was, yeah, it was like it started a bit earlier, so it was like fine. Like it did end fairly late, right? Like it did feel like like we finished at what, like 7 or something. Like I was tired at the end of day one for sure. Like I was like we were like, oh, let's go out for dinner, and I was like, yeah, we need to do that now. Like obviously always have fun going out for dinner on the Saturday night, but I was like, I'm already tired, man, especially after my game against Cam. Oh, stressful. But no, that was fun. Well, with that then, shall we get straight into the event then? Does that sound interesting?
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
I actually have a question, something that I have not discovered the answer to yet that you just reminded me of. I assume Cam's team did not come first, which meant Benchwarmers A is actually Benchwarmers A, if you guys got third and Chris got second.
Mm-hmm.
Benchwarmers B was put back in its proper place.
They came fourth.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Which is the Benchwarmers. So Benchwarmers locked in both its like historical spots of third and fourth. Good.
Yeah.
Can't be dethroned. Yep. Excellent.
Gold. Yeah. Oh, I guess there is one other thing that I do need to bring up now. I did promise the 311s and the rest of that team with Fishy on it that if Fishy won his game, I would call him an absolute god at 40k. So he did win his game, and Fishy, you are an absolute god at 40k.
He is pretty good. I mean, like, let's be honest. For someone who has not read a single 40k rule ever, he's not bad, is he? Like,
yeah, no,
he's
he's on
greatest
ascended.
Fishy. He has ascended. Do you guys know he got second in a tournament with World Eaters without an army rule? Like, he just didn't realize blood dice were a thing. He just didn't play them.
That's the most fishy thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, cool. Let's kick into it.
Sweet. Let's transition over then. And now is this all working? Looks like it is. Cool. Sweet. So we'll do this. We've got benchwarmers round 1 up first, so let's do that. Valkyrie, how did your round 1 go?
Yes, so let's go back and remember. So yeah, that was up against Dan Hayden's team, right?
Yep. Happy to be included.
Yeah, so that it was interesting because yeah, that was of course the seed 4 pairing, but not really a seed 4 team. It was a pretty tough one. I think it was one of the harder ones for us to pair, and Dan's really good at pairing. I was definitely I felt like I was challenged in that process, but yeah, I think it was a pretty good result for us there, right?
Yeah, it was huge.
So it's like it's all erased from my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 62 win. Logan is the only one that fell down on your team that round into Dan Hayden himself. Everyone else got
into Eldari as well.
Yeah.
Horrible
matchup for her.
And getting a 5, like I was stoked with him getting, more than 1 point.
I was behind them. Like my game was happening like right next to them. So like, and I kept on hearing like just Dan just let out his gasps of like, oh, because like things were going his way, which is very entertaining for me. So it was very fun.
Yeah.
So Logan was obviously doing the right thing, because if you make Dan do that, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Or he's getting diced. That's been my experience of it. Just rolling ridiculously and watching him suffer.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Good to get like a nice win off the bat though, right? Like it's always a good feeling when you kind of like, as a seed 1 team, that's really like there's a weird pressure of making sure that you do win your round 1, because like going into the seed 4, it's like, oh, you don't want to like draw it, like you really want to like try and like win. But it looks like a good round. Like Ryan into World Eaters is a great matchup for him. You got Kier into Tyranids, which is like should just be a big win. Chad into Drukari is probably a 10-10, so that's like pretty good there.
Yeah.
And then probably a fairly drawish matchup with the Ezra's Death Guard into the Dark Angels as well. That's probably fairly drawish. He just probably got the top side of the draw there.
Yeah, I think we had him down as maybe a small loss, but I think we got him a good table, and I think that's what pushed it up.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
Good.
But no, I think like solid pairings all throughout there. Like it looks like you were in control of pairings that time, which is really nice to be able to do, right? when you get out of it, you're like, cool, like we paired well here. Like that's nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Shall we go over my round 1 then?
Yeah.
So we're into the crack rag tags. I don't think I ever pronounced this once right. Every time that I saw it, my dyslexia going up strong. But yeah, we again seed 1 into seed 4, so we were pretty pleased to be a seed 1 team. But we do have some very strong players on our team, so that does kind of make sense. But we still wanted to make sure that we paired really well, and we kind of got the results that we wanted. So Dylan was I think a 9 into the Death Guard, but no one really wanted to play the Death Guard because Death Guard weirdly for our matrix weren't amazing. So it was like kind of one of those ones like someone had to get it, and like Dylan's matrix was probably the safest there, so that was pretty good. Josh, basically like 1 unit of head takers killed Charles's entire Custodes army. So don't know how he does it. Like it literally survived a unit of wardens and then just like killed them on the clapback, and then just proceeded to just like run through the rest of his army. It was hearing the play.
That's exactly what happened in the Hugh game, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Alluded to it. Head takers, Josh's head takers are invulnerable. So
yeah, Josh's weighted dice.
I think it's just he just gets like because he gets the 4-ups, right? Like you just like if you just make a couple extra, like it can like it can swing. And Charles is only using the four warden units as well, so they're a bit smaller,
a little softer. Yeah.
So they're a bit easier, and then they also don't hit as hard, right? So they don't hit as hard, and then they're easier to kill. And I don't think he popped the Feel No Pain because he thought he was going to kill the head takers. So it's like didn't have that extra durability up. Then
that makes
Then we got myself into the Eldari. I had myself down as an 11 here, and I got the 11, which is pretty neat. Perfect matrix off the bat. It was pretty nice here. I had a pretty cool game into Marcel. Really fun, like really enjoyable game. But I was able to go first and just stage everything. Oh no, sorry, he went first, and he just put 2 units of rangers on objectives, and then just was like, cool, that's all I'm going to do, and then everything stayed back. So I was able to kill those 2 units of rangers and then stage my entire army without like any like repercussion. And then he decided to go really aggressive turn 2 and put his fire dragon unit out to kill a truck because he had bring it down. But that meant it gave Gaz's unit just this like wee like slingshot like through his army. Yeah, but it was like apart from that, like it's still Eldar, so like it still was a fairly close game because he was just able to like be around me a lot of the game, even though Gaz's unit was so pivotal in the middle. He did end up killing Gaz in the clapback the next turn, but like I got to kill, you know, the fire dragons, the wave serpent, Janezar's unit. Like it's all quite nice. So it ended up being fairly close because I feel like that's just the Eldari matchup with Orcs. Orcs can kill them really hard, but then Eldar have all the tricks to play around them as well. Then we have Jamie on his Custodies into John's Grey Knights, and I think what happened here is John left a lot of his army in reserve, being Grey Knights, you know, kind of the normal thing to do, and then Jamie went first and just shoved and didn't let John bring down his models. So that was rough. So yeah.
Green by custom.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, so that was pretty rough there. And then Chris Hamilton with his Imperial Knights, he was like, oh, I reckon it's a 10-10, gets a 1, so it's good. But I think there was like, I don't think he made like an armor save for like the first 2 turns of that game, so it was like pretty rough. Like he didn't make any 4-up bowls or anything like that, so like a little bit of dice there, but I think yeah, definitely not a great matchup for him. But yeah, so yeah, got a 60 win. So you the benchwarmers are 2 points ahead of us after round 1. So it's like can't keep getting away with this stuff. Yeah. So Valkyrie round 2.
Yeah. So up against Maru's Misfits.
Yep.
And this was a pretty good matrix for us. We sort of had a lot of room to breathe on this one. But we ended up with a draw by 1 point. So yeah, 1 more point, it would have been a win. But yeah, it was I think just kind of came down to some bad luck with some of our games that should have scored higher. But yeah, Ezra getting the score that he knew that he would. So that was good. But we had a little bit of drama because he had not done his score correctly and like came back to me afterwards and wanted to correct it, but it'd been like half an hour, and so it was like, sorry mate, it's not going to happen.
Right.
And it was like it was 1 point.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't look at the at who we actually paired with, and I cannot remember.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was Logan with his Chaos Knights into Danny's World Eaters, and Logan got the 11 there, which is pretty nice.
That was good.
Yeah, we had Ryan with his Dark Angels into Zachary's Space Marines. That's the that was the Firestorm list, wasn't it?
Potentially. It was. They were the only. There was only one Ultramarines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite, the Deep Strike Aggressors. Oh baby.
Yeah, it was the Firestorm list. It's hot. But yeah, I guess like Zachary knew what he was doing with that list that round. Then we have here's Montcar into Brandon's sisters, and it feels like Montcar probably just did a bit of Montcar things there.
Yep.
Yeah, then we had Chad into the with his sisters into Necrons.
He said that was a very boring game. They just basically sat there looking at each other and not doing anything.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah.
It's like sort of like a mirror in a way, though, right? Like it's like a Necrons versus team of Necrons. Like it's just no one kills each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything comes back to life. It's just like, ugh. Yeah, they deserve each other, to be fair. Let's be real. Yeah, and then as you said, Ezra into the Custodes with the big win there. So Ezra definitely bringing that back for you a little bit. Like you had a couple of decent wins, but your losses were also pretty big. So like, that was really good of Ezra to get there. But heartbreaking as well, being 1 point away from the win there. Like, that would just. But as it is,
That is what it is. Same thing happened to you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect time to move on. So yeah, so we got my round 2, which was a 54 draw into Morris Carrier Society, and we had myself into Morris himself, the namesake of the team, me getting a 13. We had Jamie getting a 0 into Sterling with his Eldari, Dylan getting a 17 into World Eaters with his Drukari. Spectacle of Spite, man. Like, Dylan just got giddy every time he got to do his strata. Like, it was very cute.
It's pretty busted, but especially into World Eaters. Like, you just send 5 witches into the 20-man, and it's just like, whoops.
Or 3 Reavers. It's just...
Yeah, 3 Reavers. Just like, it's cursed, man.
Yeah, and you just got to make sure everything else is like, more than 7 inches away, so you can't piling console. Like, it's just, but yeah, it's gnarly. But yeah, and then Dylan got a big score there. He was projecting a pretty good big score. I think he like matrixed like a 12 or a 13. But yeah, getting a bit of a bigger score there was really nice. I think that was Sam's World Eaters was the double Forge Fiend one as well, which is like so slightly actually worse for Dylan because guns actually make that more annoying for Dylan, ironically. Yeah, and then Josh getting a 19 into Hugh's Chaos Knights. And as Tate kind of alluded to, this was Hugh shot 2 despoilers, I think, on his turn 1 into a unit of head takers, and Josh lost 2 head takers somehow. And then that same unit of head takers killed a despoiler in return. It's just madness.
So stupid.
Yeah. So yeah, wow. So obviously when stuff like that happens, it just breaks games wide open. And then we got our other Chris Hamilton with his Imperial Knights into Louis, the captain of Morris Carrier Society, getting a 5 into the Blood Angels. And yeah, like we matrixed for I think a 58 this round and got a 54, so not too bad. Like we were close to matrix. Like I again hit matrix perfectly. I had a 13 on my matrix, got a 13. I was very proud of myself, 2 rounds in a row being exactly on matrix. Annoyingly, I could have tried to push for more, but I was like, it's safer for me to just go for matrix than anything else. And Stephen was trying to genuinely just block me as much as possible. His 20-man Necron Warrior brick was on his home objective until turn 4 because he didn't want Gaz to kill it, which was the correct play, because otherwise I just kill it for nothing. But like, it's made it very funny.
Yeah, that's actually quite bad for Necrons, right? Like Warhorde must be one of its worst matchups.
Yeah, I was able to put 3 units of Breaker Boys, 2 lead with characters, into the Wraith brick, and I was like, cool. So that's just dealt with, and I got to kill. I think I overkilled it, but I got to put 3 bomb squigs into it as well. So like I killed like 1.5 before I even got to fighting it, which was like, this is nice. But no, great game. Stephen was a absolute lad to play against. One of my favorite games of the weekend. It was a really fun game where we were both just trying to like help each other play the game, which was just, that's how I love playing 40k, is when you get to play that game where it's just back and forth constantly. It's really, really fun. But yeah, again, tough that we didn't get the win, especially being so close to it, but you know, it is what it is, and you keep carrying on. So we have Benchwarming's Heresies last round of day 1 into Big Rooster Energy.
So well, it was a funny start to this round as well, because Logan was talking to me over sort of like the break between those rounds, and we were talking about like a little bit of the drama with the score and stuff, and then he was like, oh, it's all good, we can get going and have a nice dinner and stuff, and I'm like, we've got a whole nother round to play. And he was like, what? Oh my god. So Yeah, this one was tougher for us for pairings, but what I was thinking was happening was that I was kind of throwing Logan under the bus into Eldar, and that isn't what happened in the end. So they came to me just after pairings. Wardle and Logan were like, would you let us do a handshake, a 5 to Logan and a 15 to James? And I was like, because I was like, he might get a 0. So I was like, yeah, sure, if you want to. And then they talked about it a little bit more, and they realized the mission was taken hold. And James was like, no, I think I can get the 20, so I'll play. And so apparently what happened was it was a combination of things, but Logan like nailed a 6-inch advance, and it like changed the whole game, and just obliterated his fire dragons, and then he didn't have any tools. And then I remember coming over and there was like no more Eldar on the table. And I was like, what's happening here? And then when I got told the score, I think they finished like an hour early.
So what happened? Did he like crack he got a big advance on the assault despoiler, cracked the wave serpent and killed the fire dragons before they activated, kind of thing? Is that
I think so, yeah.
That's insane. That's
Yeah.
That's very low coded. Like it's like the Morris, but like it's the stuff of legends. Like he's just like trundling along, and then every now and then there's just this crazy game. Yeah.
Very cool. I guess you also have all the indirect. So once you create the wave serpent as well, then all the indirect can just stack. Like even if you kill 5 fire dragons the first turn, it's like cool.
Yeah.
Like you're actually not killing anything now.
Yeah. Well, it's like before in the index, before the fire dragon unit existed, Chaos Knights was quite bad for Eldar. So if you lose that unit, I guess it's bad again.
Yeah, Kia in chat said 6-inch advanced let a despoiler kill 4 units top of 1. That then the dragons failed to kill a stalker and it popped the wave serpent. Right, okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Thank you, Kia. But then you'll have to remind me of what we ended up pairing.
Yeah, so James into Logan is as you said, was 18 to Logan, our hero. And then we have Jessie and her Drukari into Ryan DeHere's Dark Angels, and then we got Cameron and sisters into Kia's Tau. Kia getting sisters twice is interesting. You think after the previous round where he got like a good score, usually you use that information for the next round and be like, maybe we won't give the same person the same game again.
Not everyone's as gamey as you, Chris.
Oh, yeah, true. You mean not everyone's looking at how everyone paired every round? Jeez, okay.
Yeah.
Come on.
And then we had sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I was continuing to talk shit. Continue.
So we have Ronan's Chaos Knights into Chad's sisters, which was a 10-10, and then we had John World Eaters into Ezra's Death Guard, and Ezra got the 20 there, big 20.
Yeah.
So you ended on an 86-point win, absolutely skyrocketing your positioning.
Yeah. So there was another thing I remember with this team. They were apparently misinformed of what Montcar could actually do, and so they got a bit of a surprise in Kia's game.
Did they confuse it with Galleon? Because I imagine that's a shock. Like you think it's the turn 3-1, and you deploy as if it is that, and then it's the turn 1-1, and you're like, oh,
oh dear. Yeah.
Whoops.
I'm not sure. Kia would probably know more about what his opponent was really thinking. But I think all 3 rounds we put Kia down first because we wanted to get him table pick because he usually wants the light table.
Well done to him. Getting a 20 is always nice, you take those ones. And again, playing Montcar against Montcar for the first time, you really don't want to be doing that at a tournament. Because there's so many things you learn from your first rep into it that is I could have done so many things differently. So
Yeah,
but-
you need to be able to understand the threat range to play versus that army, because you can win and lose in deployment. Like it's just
yeah, no, great round though. Like, especially if like because this event at whole, like there was probably like 6-7 teams that all genuinely could podium. Getting a big win is really, really good for like standings, right? You know, so, like you're really good for tiebreak. So like really, really good. Like that, ending the day with a big win like that is must be a good feeling. Like quite good.
I wouldn't know.
And then we had our round 3, and now I'm going to tell you a little story that two things. One, I paired horribly this round, and 2, our matrix for this entire round was horrible, like genuinely just ass. So really not good there. So we had to do a couple of risks this round. And one of them was like, I don't think anyone had above like a 7 into Cam, which was not ideal. I don't think anyone had more than like an 8 into Michael. And then like half the field half of our team didn't want to go into the World Eaters. So it was like, excellent. So it just made my pairings very fun. So what we decided to do was put Chris down first with his Imperial Knights, and then I was going to attack with the Drukhari into Cam, because like the Drukhari has like potential to scam early as well, and then I have like the potential there as well. But both of us are like looking for like 5s, you know, like we're reaching to get a 5 in that matchup, both of us. And then the rest appearance happened, and I kind of realized is like, I need to get a big win. Like Dylan's probably going to get a decent win. Josh is probably going to get a decent win. If I get like 5 or less, we lose the round. So I was like, okay. So I walked up to Josh before I deployed like 2 units of grots at this point, like nothing, or 1 unit of commandos, and then a unit of grots. And then I was like, okay, you do your next drop, man. And then I walked over to Josh and I was like, I think I have to full send it, otherwise we lose. He's like, are you comfortable doing that? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I lose instantly if I don't go first. She's like, do it. I was like, cool. So I went back and I just started to put everything on the line. Like it didn't matter. Like I really just didn't even care where Cam was putting his army. I was like, I'm just like, literally it's all going on the line. Like it doesn't really matter at this point. And then yeah, so we finished deploying. I was like, before we roll off to go first, can we go grab a beer? Because I wanted to, you know, like make sure that, you know, like we're both on the same like wavelength. He's like, yeah, let's do it. So went and grabbed a beer, got back, and then he was like, you roll first. So I rolled, and I rolled a 3, and I was like, like that's just not the like power. Like I just wanted to roll the 6 and just have the like, yeah. I was like, oh. And then came rolled a 2, and I was like, yeah, we're going, boys. So yeah, the turn 1 war was called, and I didn't actually kill that much. I failed a lot of my charges, ironically, a lot of like the 7s and 8s. I got 1 ghost kill down to 2 wounds, 1 ghost kill down to 10. I killed a Riptide and a unit of Pathfinders, and that was it on turn 1. Like still a good turn 1, but I was hoping to kill like the other unit of Pathfinders, and then I felt in a really good position. And then the game kind of turned into a little bit of a mistake on Cam's behalf. We didn't realize it at the time, but he didn't screen out where his dice tray was, which was at the very back left-hand corner of his thing, and he just moved everything forward. And I was like, oh, can I deep strike back there? And he was like, yeah, bro. And I was like, okay, cool. Like he didn't even try to like fix it, because like he had moved everything forward to shoot and do stuff. So I was like, so it's one of those things. So I was able to then do that. So then that screened where the Tiger Shark could come in from the backside. And then I was able just to move, because I'd wired, my whole army was just throughout the whole board. So I was able to block the turn 2 rapid ingress by doing that. So that, okay, cool. So I've got another turn to kill. I finish this. Also, the flash gets shooting did 10 damage to a Riptide. Just wild. Like just, it should do like 6, I think is the math. So it was like, rolled really hot there. And then Cam's rolling was also pretty poor. And also on Cam's turn 1, he only killed, I think like 12 boys out of the 20 boys squad. So the unit was still quite alive. I had -1 to wound up, and he just rolled a bunch of 2/3s to wound, so it just really just didn't actually get through. Like, it was the most value, like, -1 to wound I had ever, like, pushed the button on. And also having the 5 involves, like, helps skew it as well. So a little bit of, like, bad dice on Cam's part, and then me deploying first, going first, and then being able to screen out the whole board meant on my turn 3, I decided not to charge anything and just screened out the entire board because I didn't want to accidentally charge something and then make a pocket for the tiger shark to be able to come down into. And I told Cam, like, if I don't move now and just finish my turn, the tiger shark can't come down on your turn, correct? He's like, yep. I was like, end my turn. So I just literally end my turn, and tiger shark 325 points just disappeared and never came on. It flew off to some other person's battlefield, which was definitely like a proud moment of mine being able to do that. Like, that was pretty fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Couldn't just let my boy live. Like, you know how long he's been looking forward to putting that thing on the board? Yeah.
He got 4 very big wins in its other games, so like I'm pretty sure the tiger shark did tiger shark things in its other games. But yeah, but Cam was a great sport though, and like we played a very, very fun game, and we were both very lighthearted. The dice were kind of telling their own story, but towards the end as well, like he just kept on getting like the bad side of average every time, which was like not ideal, like especially when I was already winning a game. But yeah, ended up getting the score that I needed to actually win the round though, and I was right that if I had played for the 5, we actually lose the round. And because I don't even think the 5 is really realistic. I think it's like I'm praying for a 5.
Yeah, that plane fucks into orcs. Like, it just insane.
Every gun on that thing is just absolutely insane into me. It's very, very bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, luckily got the win there. So it was myself into Cam, Josh with his Space Wolves into World Eaters with the big win, Chris Hamilton into Fishy. Chris had a 15 on his matrix here and got a 7. He did not realize that the Hive Guard with the anti-vehicle 2+ gun were a thing. And yeah,
classic Fishy gotcha.
Yeah, absolute mad. But yes, still was able to keep bringing it back points, which is really important. And then Jamie, I think he matrixed an 8 or a 9 and got the 7, so it's pretty fine into Michael's Votan, and then Dylan getting the 13 that I think he predicted a 13 as well into Raymond's Necron. So pretty good predictions all around for like a round that we were peering so poorly into. Being able to get the win was very lucky, I guess. Like, this was generally our luckiest round where like things just fell into place really well for us.
That's quite cool, right? Because it's like it's a good example of playing to your outs. I think like that jamming that the tower list is exactly how you beat it, and you just sort of saw that, and like sure you needed to win the dice roll, but you know, like if that's how you win, that's how you win. You know, so
yeah, no, it was risky, but worth the payoff in the end. Otherwise it would have been like a 40-point loss to us, but you know, but yeah,
just like rerollable desperate escapes.
So never tell me the odds. So Valkyrie, benchwarming his heresy into Roosters, round 4, first of day 1. How did you feel?
So yeah, that was we had already sort of we'd pre matrixed against Odyssey and Chile, expecting that was probably one of the teams that we'd be up against in round 4. So we didn't have a Roosters matrix until Saturday evening. And lots of reds on this one. The guard were a problem for us, and the tower a little bit of a problem for us as well. But yeah, so this was the one round that we changed it up and we put down Logan first instead of Kier, which I believe paid off because he got into Tau and got a small win out of that. And then let me try and remember. So Ezra was into IK, wasn't he?
Yep. Yeah, got a big 18 there, which is good.
Yeah. And who ended up getting the guard?
Kia did.
Yeah,
He did. Yeah. And yes, and Chad told me like a minute before we were pairing, he was just like, "Oh, can I change my my matrix on the NIDs?" And he changed it to a 1. And I was just like, "I'm so sorry." He fell out the back of the pairings, and I was just like, I couldn't save you.
Accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, it was rough for him. He was just like stuck basically in his DZ for the whole game. Not what you want in Terraform.
Yeah.
I also think that list is like the Vanguard NIDS list is probably one of the worst lists in the game to go second on Terraform verse. Like it plays Terraform first turn so well.
Yeah. Yeah, and who got then? That would have been Ryan into Necrons.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the interesting things this round was because Terraform's changed recently, just slightly. The way that the scoring's done is a little bit different. I think almost everyone forgot that was how it was played, and so I had to go back around after everyone's game and be like, "Did you score on every turn, not just the end of each round?" Which usually it was a wash because it was just just double the score basically, unless you flipped it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, another draw for us, but again, being on the upper end of the draw, so getting extra points. But yeah, it did mean that at the end of this, it was like, well, either we have to win because we could maybe then not even podium if we drew. But our battle points were high enough that we were reasonably safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, it was a good round.
Yep. Nice. Yeah. Roosters are always fun people, right? Like, a good time. But yeah, it's like, and when you get to day 2, you know you're going to be playing like tough teams, right? So it's like one of those things, like you got to expect that kind of thing. And when a couple of things don't necessarily go ideally for you, like it's and it's 2 points, right? Like it could literally be like 3 in-game points is the actual difference there, right? Like
could have been those terraforms.
Could have been.
One, yeah. And then for my team, it was into the Chili Cow team, so my other team. So it was quite good. So like it was going to be a chill round when you go up against like literally the other team that you play for. So that was like pretty exciting. And we had a pretty good matrix this round as well. So like we were pretty happy. Like on the Saturday night, we decided who we're going to drop first, and like who we were kind of going to bust, and to try and give everyone else like pretty decent matchups. And then we kind of just did that, and it worked. Like it's just like it was, when you have a pretty good matrix, it's pretty easy to then just try and hit what you need to hit, which was really good. Yeah, so we had like our Imperial Knights into World Eaters, which we knew was a bad matchup. But like Chris he was pretty confident that he could bring points back, so that was awesome. Myself into the Necrons, I knew that I could push that pretty hard. Dylan was like, a slight loss. I think he put it down as like a 7 on Matrix into Patricio. That was literally one of his only bad matchups. That and the Necrons were like 2 of his worst matchups. So unfortunate that he fell out into that, but that's what it is. But then Jamie getting a big win into the Eldari, and then Josh getting a big win into Charlie as well. Kind of just like locked that round down for us. But again, really fun round, playing against our team. It was also kind of nice to beat the other Chile team. So, like showing dominance, which was fun.
Just Odyssey 40k is the superior half of Chile.
Yeah,
confirmed.
Exactly. Yep. Even though like it's Chile Cow Cartel, and I had the cow on my team. I was like, but
Cow 40k.
Yeah, but no, really fun round. Everyone seemed to have really fun games, which was really cool. So that's kind of what you want to see. And then we have. I don't even have to change slides for the last round. This is great.
I didn't even realize this happened. Like I skipped ahead around just before to see who the final was. I did not know it was you guys, so it's a surprise. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was Odyssey versus Benchwarming. I'd love to hear your thoughts before kind of going through my own. So like, what were your thoughts going into this round, Valk?
Yeah. So I feel like for us, this one, it was a little easier for us to pair than Chili's. Like it was sort of more obvious who to put up and who we'd attack with. But yeah, of course it was just like, well, it still looks pretty drawish kind of no matter what. That we'd kind of have to make some risky plays in order to be able to win. But it was I don't know, it was a nice one to have as the last round. Because like for me as sort of a non-player, I feel like the more skilled the teams are, the easier my job actually is, because I'm not answering basic rules questions for anyone. And everyone's generally like a pretty good sport, so people aren't getting salty about anything. So yeah, I kind of just got to enjoy watching the games.
I must say, from my side, it was lovely being able to go up to you and be like, so how are the games going? Just like having that coach to be able to go up to you and you're like, oh, these are looking like this. Like, awesome, thank you. And I'll just walk back to my table instead of having to like bounce around and be like, how you going? How you doing? How you doing? So I appreciated that you were honest with that as well. So I liked that. That was very, very handy for me.
Yeah.
Definitely shows just how important having a coach in your team is, right? Like how much it actually changes the dynamic of the team.
Yeah,
huge difference.
But we were basically like, oh, surprise, every time we put something down. Like during pairing, we knew how this was pretty much going to go. So
yeah, I think the first, like, I to be fair, so my mentality going into this was pretty much the exact same. What you said was pretty much mirrored my thoughts. Is you guys have the top side of like the matrix, like your matrix is probably slightly easier to pair with than ours. So I was like, okay, so I either need to like whip something out, which I don't think I can do because you and Ryan know how to pair very well. So it's like I can't just like trick you with pairings, try and like do something sneaky. So I was like, oh, okay, I just got to do what like I think is the generic best thing, and then I assume you'll do the generic best thing I think you can do, and then we just play that, and then just hopefully something comes out of it. Sometimes you can like kind of sneak in like a bad pick early to try and like swing things around, but I think you would just capitalize on it and then we'd be in a much worse position. So we ended up putting Chris down first with our Imperial Knights, and with us assuming that you were going to do Montcar first. Once also seeing that you did that throughout the event earlier as well, since I'm a nerd and I check these things. Seeing that, I was like, okay, and like I also play Montcar, right? So I know that Montcar wants a light board. So it's like, okay, if they want the light board, let's put something else that can use the light board. So then we can, if we win the roll off, which we didn't all 5 games, we lost the roll off, which was great, all 5 rounds. So that was excellent.
Yeah.
But like at least we have the option.
You guys. Yeah, you guys did, and that was funny because I actually wanted to lose the roll off, because I wanted to take the heavy table off you.
Yeah.
Because I knew that you would take it on the next defender. Yeah.
It's funny how that kind of stuff can like change things, right? It's like like you're a different methodology from the table side of things, but we had very similar thoughts on actual pairings. So I was like, cool, like, and I'm gonna throw myself and Dylan at Kia, and then whatever you throw at us is like just kind of like, I really wasn't actually sure what you're going to throw at Chris, because I wasn't sure what you wanted to do for the back end of your pairings, and it was like too little amount of time for me to kind of work through a bunch of different options. So I was like, I'll go to there, and then it will kind of just be vibes from that point of looking at Matrix and just kind of sending it. The thing that really surprised me was you picking Dylan over myself for Kia,
Mm.
because I had myself down as a
Yeah.
5 as well. Like a 5 isn't
Yeah.
bad, like 5 out of 15, out of 20.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Care had that as a better matchup against Dylan.
Mm.
And yeah, he reckoned that he wasn't going to do well against you, so that was what I went off.
He was just afraid to play
The
me.
old-
I believe it. Or
Yeah.
he was just worried. He knew that I knew how to play his army. He's like, I was like, how am I going to do this when he knows how to play? I think it's very flippy. I think it's, if I get first drop and I can put the 10 commandos out, it's definitely like much more of a game. But I think if if he gets first drop and even then going second, I think is fine for him, because I stage, but then he's just so fast that he can just hit me, especially on his table pick. So I had that down as a pretty bad matchup for that reason. But yeah, like I was surprised with that, but I was also kind of happy because Dylan was like, I reckon I fuck Kia, and I was like, cool, you go do that, king. So that was cool. So yeah, so that was that, and then you attacked with Chad and Ezra into Chris, right? And we were really, really uncertain on what to do there as well, like what to pick, like what did we want to fall out. And then we ended up going with the sisters, which I think we talked about it after the event, and you were like, I think that was the correct call, because I think that was like better all over, even though it ended up in 2 13s for you and 2 7s for us. But
yeah,
I think the other way around could have been a bit more of a nightmare for us for sure.
Yeah, well, and because Ezra had predicted a much bigger score against Custodes, because he knows them quite well.
Yep.
But your player played a really good game, managed to stop him from steamrolling him. So
good. My boy,
yeah,
my Custodes one trick. Thank God, you are a king. That's cool. I'm glad that Jamie definitely played some really good games this weekend. This past weekend. So I'm really, really proud of my boy. So that was cool. Good to hear that he also played that game well. Coming from someone that also played Custodes, like it's really it's quite nice to hear. So appreciate that. But I do want to talk a little bit about my game versus Logan, because I had this also down as a 5. Like I had this down as a bad game for me. But and everyone said so. I picked the Super L table, and I was like, this is amazing for me. And then Chris came up to me, Josh came up to me, and Dylan came up to me, and they're like it's hidden supplies, bro. Like this table is actually really bad for you. And then we set up the terrain, and I was like, how is this bad for me? Like I get to I get this like super amazing staging point that he can't attack, and I was like, this seems great for me. So like that definitely helped me feel a bit more confident at the start. And I did one thing that I got bailed out from going first, but one thing that I did misplay early is I should have put my commandos further forward, to make sure that his assault despoiler couldn't actually touch the side of my Super L. Where I put them, he technically could have gotten an angle if he rolled a high enough advance. So like if he rolled like a 4 or more on his advance, he would have been able to see around the Super L, which would have meant Gaz would have gotten shot by double despoilers, which was not really what I would want turn 1.
Not the dream.
Yeah, so like I think if I'd positioned better, it would have been the same outcome as going first, but I could have positioned better. So I got bailed out there a little bit. And like Logan was also like very, very helpful this game, being like, remember, I can like move here, I can go through walls, I can advance. If I get a 6, this is where I can land. He was really, really great with stuff like that, because knights are definitely one of those armies that people do misunderstand how far they can go, and like the fact that touching terrain is all they need to do. So he was really clear with all that, which was really, really, I really appreciated that as well in our game, because as much as I understand it, sometimes like having it shown to you, like, oh yeah, of course, because moving through this wall and then being able to touch this one. So that was really cool. And then the game ended up being a bit slower than I thought it would be. I thought Logan was just going to just shove everything forward, and like I would pick up one knight, and then he would basically pick up I'd pick up one big and like a small, maybe 2, and then he would just pick the rest of me up, and that's why I had such a low score on Matrix. and then he played very safe. He kept everything back and was like, cool, so I get my board position, I get primary for the first 2 turns, and I can wire on turn 3 and then flip his primary turns through his turn 3 and turn 4. So, because I think he got a 0 and a 5 on turns 3 and 4 respectively, which really helped push the differential. And I also was able to tag everything pretty much on that turn, which really helped. Like my Breaker Boys, which was supposed to be really good in that matchup, ended up being absolutely arse. I think each unit of them only did 6 wounds to a knight, and then that was it, including war bosses. One of them with crit 5s as well, just underperformed. But then the Beast Nigger boss like one tapped a knight, which was pretty handy. So one tapped a war dog. So I kind of like give and take. But yeah, ended up with a big win for me. This was like the last game to finish. I actually had to ask everyone to leave because it was like everything else had finished, and there was like 8 people around, and I'd finished my turn 5, and then Logan was just like going through what he needed to do, and there was like 7 people around, and like you had said exactly what he needed to do to win you guys the round, and I think he got a little flustered. So I was just like, guys, can everyone just like go away for a second and let my boy play his game, like, because like it's definitely like the stress you can see when there's other people around, and especially when you need to get a very specific number to win the round. Also, very funny. Josh came up to me before. It was like round 4, and be like, as long as you get like an 8, we draw the round. It's like, oh sweet, that's easy. That's locked in. That's sorted. And then you come up to me like 5 minutes later, it's like, I think you need a 13, and I was like, oh god, like those 2 numbers are like very, very different.
Yeah, and then it ended up being 12 because we pulled a point out of somewhere. It was, again, correcting a score after scoring hidden supplies incorrectly.
Excellent, yeah. But yeah,
and Jamie was a good sport about that, so that was cool. But so it was get a 6, and he had a 5 basically like locked in, but just couldn't get that last couple of points.
Another huge shout out for Logan. On my turn 5, I was like, is there any way that you can score like there's no way you can score a 15 on primary? He's like, yes there is. And then I was like, oh wait, can a big knight hold 2 objectives? Because on hidden supplies the objectives are closer together so you can actually hit. And he's like, yes. I was like, haha. So then I was able to move a truck up and then do a cute little play so he couldn't kill the truck and then also charge onto it, because like the double spoiler knights don't kill a truck in melee. So it's like there's this weird thing is like, how much guns do you put into it so then you can still charge it? And then I just, so it ended up being quite a good play. But Logan didn't have to say that to me, right? Like he could have just been like, no, it was so huge sport there for that, because otherwise I wouldn't have made that play, and then that game would have definitely been a lot closer. Real big rips to Logan for that as well. But for the rest of this round, we have Josh getting absolutely dethroned by Ryan, which is, I think, obviously a good matchup for Ryan, right? Like fights first, flat 4 damage, -1 damage, like just everything that Josh doesn't want to see, right? Like,
it was funny because before that he had like, oh yeah, I'm gonna 20 him on the Matrix, and then like the next day he was like, no, we should change it. It's not really that. We thought it would maybe just end up drawish because just of how good Josh's games had been so far, and how basically lucky he had been in all of his games. And apparently that luck had run out in the game against Ryan.
And that's kind of the thing, it's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. And and Ryan also can capitalize on mistakes, right? So like, if you do fail that 9-inch charge that was pivotal, Ryan's a great player and he'll be able to capitalize on those mistakes. So and he capitalized, he did. And then we have the Dylan Keir game, and Dylan got a 15, which was above Matrix for him, which was cool. It sounded like Keir just didn't want to leave his deployment zone because he didn't want to get spectacled.
Dylan wouldn't let him leave.
Absolute bully. That would have been an interesting game to watch, to be fair, that one, just to see how do you play around that, because like your Pathfinders are actually a liability in that game, right? It becomes quite funny. And then we have our Chris Hamilton into Chad getting a 7, Chad getting a 13, and then Jamie getting a 7 as well, into Ezra's Death Guard getting a 13. So ending up with you getting the winning side of a draw, but because we won game 4 and you drew game 4, meaning that we ended up in a higher position than you.
Yeah.
Very conveniently. So you needed to win and you would have guaranteed first if you won, just because of how many points you had scored throughout the event, which was very impressive. And we needed to draw to potentially win, but definitely podium. Yeah, and then all things done, Odyssey came second, losing to the Morris Carey Society, and then Benchwarming came third. So really great placements from the two of us anyway. I think we did really well. And we got a cool medal thing. I don't know how well this is coming up with transition back.
Oh, that is.
It's actually pretty cool. Like, it's a pretty sick medal. Like, they did a really cool job with them. Like, really, really quite neat.
And the whole team got those. Was that like the cool?
Yeah.
They always do them for coaches as well, which I think is actually just like the coolest thing, because like
I really like that.
Yeah, it's mad respect for that, because it's obviously an extra cost because they make extra ones for every single trophy, but mad respect for it. I told them, like, in like a couple of years, once they have a bunch of the extra ones, they should do a tournament where you just get a random trophy from like a box. I thought that'd be quite fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the event. Really, really fun. Had a great time. Sounds like Benchwarming guys, you guys had a really great time as well. And yeah. Shall we get into the actual interesting part of this interview that we've kind of just been kind of going through anyway, which is talking about you, Valkyrie. So I guess my first question for you would be, what got you into 40k?
Okay, so I guess there's a couple of things to the story. So I mean, my first exposure to Warhammer, I would have been really little, like 5 or 6 or something. And my uncle and my brother used to collect them, mostly just for painting. But I always thought they looked really cool, but I was never allowed to play with them because they were too precious. And then going forward like a few years, I bought my own model, but this is like when they were still metal, and I was like, I want to try painting one. Absolutely destroyed a paintbrush trying to paint like a real big unit that was really, really complicated, and gave up on that for a while. But yeah, and then so it would have been like maybe 8 years ago or something like that when Logan said to me, for anyone who doesn't know, Logan is my husband. That is why we share a last name. He said to me, he's like, I've been thinking about getting back into Warhammer. And I was like, hell yeah, that sounds cool. I'd love to just like paint some, because I was already playing like D&D with him. And so painting lots of models for that. Life kind of got in the way and I never got around to it, especially because Warhammer was just a little more complicated to paint. Like it felt like there's like a wrong way of painting them, right? And so I didn't end up picking it up for a while, and Logan would like talk to me all the time about Warhammer. I could never really follow along with what he was saying because I was just like, I don't know what any of this means. But like sort of over time, I started like picking up a couple of things, and then I think the thing that kind of turned it around, there was 2 things. Space Marine 2 coming out, which just like was a massive lore dump, because I just I play tons of video games, and that was such a great, beautiful video game. And then it was a Hamilton tournament last year. It would have been around this time, like October or November. That Logan told me that he was thinking about going to, and I was like, oh, I could go with you. And he was like, what? And I was like, well, I get to go away, kind of like we could go get like a nice Airbnb, and I could go do my own thing, and then also like check out the tournament as well. And then it was just like this whole vibe there. and I just got hooked like so quickly about like just how, I don't know, passionate everyone was about what they were doing, and everyone was like super welcoming and friendly. Like, would ask me if I was ever thinking about playing, and just telling me all about their armies, even though I was not comprehending at all what they were talking about. It was just like, oh, this was not at all what I was expecting. Like I was kind of expecting a little bit of like gatekeeping, but I was very happy to be proven wrong. So yeah, and then from there it was like, well, Logan was like, well, here's how you can help. You can help me keep score. And so that was sort of a way for me to be engaged in the game and actually follow along what was happening. And yeah, from there, then it was like, well, why don't you be a coach? And then it was suddenly I was captain of the 8-man team because Ryan was originally not going to be in that team, but then did end up being in our team. But I had just stolen captaincy from him for some reason. And yeah, and then now I have actually played in a tournament before. It's terrifying, but I had a lot of fun.
Awesome.
And yeah, I'm keen to keep doing it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's kind of the like almost the quintessential experience of getting into the hobby, right? Like the kind of having some engagement early on young and then sort of falling out of it for a while and getting back in.
Mm.
And I think super relatable for a lot of people. And it's always like really nice to hear the kind of like stories about how welcoming the community is always awesome. Because I know like I was when I got back into 40K, like as an adult, I was quite surprised by how sort of open everyone is, and it's especially with how different a lot of people in 40K are. It's quite crazy to see how well everyone gels. Yeah,
for sure. But yeah,
we have a question from Dan in chat. It's like, which is, what army do you think you'll play competitively?
CK. Mostly just because it's
turn
like
off the stream.
Shut up, Tait. I mean, part of it being that like because it plays similarly to IK, and that's sort of the most exposure I've had. But it's it's spikier, so I like it more. However, I have a long way to go because I'm very pedantic about the way that I paint things, and so I am painting my trim non-metallic metal, so it is going to be months before my I know it's going to be months before my nights ever come together. But so I do have I bought Kobe's Custodes off him.
Oh really?
Yeah, and just today we bought some Sisters of Silence to basically fill out a list that is apparently reasonably competitive. So
Is that
maybe I'll play that first. Yes, I think so.
Nice.
I don't know. I'll send it to you later and see what you think.
Yeah. I think the Talons ones is interesting. Damn, it's crazy. Kobe sold his Custodes. That was like one of my first like when I got into playing competitive, that was one of my like early games that I was like, this is challenging, was like playing this Kobe's Custodes. Yeah. Damn.
Cool.
You now own a formative piece of my 40K experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Piece of history.
Yeah. The first great Tait will be lost.
Yeah. Dan has a good point now. Is like Logan and Valkyrie have the ultimate double knight pin.
Except they were good again.
Yeah, very cool. We've got some cool comments here. We got Chad saying the best captain, Fishy saying +1 best captain, and then we got Tyler saying hell yeah Custodes. Chad's play Custodes. Very cool.
That's crazy that you think that.
And then Tyler said, "It's not always about you, Tait."
Look, it's like autistic can kind of relate, okay? Like this, shoot me down.
Yeah. But
Cool.
yeah, another thing that I have played a couple of other things, mostly just sort of to practice against, or get Logan to practice his knights against. I played Eldar, and I smashed him with it. That was fun. It's like a super, like, I found it super complicated to play, but like I was basically had my nose in the book the entire time, to try and remember when I could do something, but I was able to sort of capitalize on all of that. And it does feel like, I don't know, maybe I have the brain for, I don't know, keeping that sort of just in memory of like, here's when you need to do this right now. This is going to work.
Yeah.
So maybe one day.
Cool. You
Already
always start
better
with
than
one
James
army, right?
Waddle. One day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I must resist buying another army before I paint one.
Famous last words.
I know, right?
Yes.
I think we all believe that that's the case for all of us. It's like, I have a mountain of unbuilt models.
Pile
Yeah.
of shame.
Yeah.
Okay, for our next question, since you predominantly have been a coach and captain, how do you go about like approaching being a captain, being a coach, doing pairings, all that kind of side of thing? Especially from coming from like a non-playing perspective to start with, which is quite an interesting kind of way of getting into it. So, how do you approach that?
Yeah. So the first thing I did, and the first thing I would recommend anyone does if they're thinking about doing coaching or have been asked to coach, is look up the rules of what you actually can do as a coach, because it's a very good guideline for what is useful to do, but as well as like making sure that you don't get into trouble. But yeah, the WTC guidelines on coaching actually gives like a pretty good rundown of what you would be expected to do. So sort of at the beginning of it, I mean, I think Logan just said like, oh, you just, you get water for people and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, cool. That's fine. I don't mind doing that because I get to watch the games as well. It is actually so that there is so much water drunk by people who are talking for 3 hours straight. So sort of the way that even I approach that is actually before a tournament, I go shopping and I go and buy everyone water bottles because they forget their own. I have since learned to put names on the water bottles because they lose them during the tournament, or throw them away, fishy. And then and just getting like a bunch of snacks and stuff because people, I don't know, it happens to me anyway during the tournaments, is that I tend to kind of lose my appetite, and I can't really eat like a whole lunch, and especially if you're sort of talking about the next rounds, you run out of time, and so just having stuff that people can pick up in the middle of the round when they feel like it, and having something to eat is good. Then it's like it takes a little bit of investment, like buying extra chess clocks, buying extra copies of the mission decks, taking glue with you because a model always gets broken. Yeah, what else do I do? I don't know, I just keep an eye on people basically. And knowing the rules is good, but you don't really need to because everyone's got the app. And so if someone asks you, you can just look it up.
The app is so good,
and-
right? Like, it's just so easy
Yeah.
to actually search anything now. Like, the amount of times where I was like, my opponent's doing something, and I'm like, oh, just put the time on me, and like within 30 seconds, I can just find what the relevant thing. When it's like a WTC, like weird thing, can be very annoying. Those can still be pretty tricky.
Mhm.
But like, if it's a GW FAQ thing, like genuinely so quick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. App is glorious. Yeah, thank you, Charlie. Praise be.
Thanks, Charlie.
Yeah.
Um,
I'd be pretty interested to hear a bit about because I think you might have, before I came back to Benchwarmers for that tournament, you might have already coached or might have already captained. I can't remember, but then I came back to that tournament and I was quite surprised by sort of, for someone who hadn't been playing, like how onto pairings, how onto like the sort of more gameplay side of coaching, like telling people to push and like analyzing board state and game state and that kind of thing, and even giving a bit of pre-game sort of like the tournament we played, you gave Fishy a bit of a prep talk before his game on sort of like this is the game plan and that kind of stuff. So I think that was like one of the like just for the amount of time you've been in the hobby, the sort of ability you had to like operate in that space was like crazy. So I think it'd be interesting to hear about a bit about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I've gotten better and better at being able to read a board state. It probably came from actually just watching an entire game multiple times without it being my game. Feeling sort of being able to be a little bit detached from it and just watch how things go. Having probably, I think, I kind of learned Warhammer in a bit of a reverse way, where I learned all the missions and stuff first, rather than actually like how the game is played, which is, as it turns out, a little more important than you'd kind of think. Just killing the other units doesn't win you the game. So yeah, maybe comes a little bit from that. I think in the case of Fishy, I did know CK a little bit by then, and that I believe that's what he was playing during that tournament. So I kind of knew what it could do. Maybe even a little bit. I had played it maybe more than Fishy had.
I would have that. Yeah. It's not an unreasonable assumption.
Yeah. But yeah, it's also, I guess, it's a way that I approach a lot of things, is that I like to find out as much information as I possibly can. So I study before I go to tournaments or play games, or and that's how I do what I do.
It's very true. It's funny how like different people have like so many different approaches to this kind of thing. I remember I got one of my good friends when I was living in Rotorua. He had never played a tournament or anything like that, but he was really interested to go to like an RTT and see what it was like. And he studied like 2 weeks before. He knew, you could say any part of any one of his data sheets that he was taking, and he could tell you exactly like where each letter was. Like he had studied the absolute like just bejesus out of it. And then he went to the event, and the first person that he played against was playing Sisters, and it was his first game with Sisters. And he just hadn't learned anything. He's like, oh, so like he knew everything of his army, but like this other guy just didn't even know how Miracle Dice worked, right? Like, it was like the two different like levels of the game. So it's just very But like I really rate that, like making sure that you understand everything before you like going into something. Like, hey, I want to make sure I'm as prepared as I can be before jumping into this, which is really good. Which I feel like a lot of 40k players don't do.
And yeah, I don't know. That was in the tournament that I played in. That was a thing that surprised me, because I studied really hard for that one, and then I was quite surprised to find out that people didn't know the rules as well as I did in a lot of cases. And I was like, oh, why do I know the grenades rule better than you when none of my army has it?
Ranged tank shock? I don't think so. Yeah, that's always an interesting one at sort of like RTTs and that kind of thing. You come across a lot of people that are like, just it almost creates feels bad moments because they think you're trying to get them, or when you're like, no, this is literally just you've been playing it wrong, and that sucks. But you know,
Yeah.
just outed myself as a huge piece of shit, massive gotcha play. Well, Chris knows. He smiles quietly.
Yeah.
He's like, he's done it to me.
Yeah. But that's really cool. I like the idea of just like actually like, doing a bit of study, you know, like make it part of like your your warm up, you know, like, you know, fighters put on their gloves and stuff, and you know, just like actually like just doing like a little bit of like reading, like read up on the missions the morning of or something like that, you know, like kind of just like get yourself in the mindset. Like stuff like that I think can be really important. I also like this is a weird thing for me, and on day 2 of any event, I like to like make sure I'm like looking good, you know, so like put on like a nicer shirt, you know, like make sure my hair's done. And genuinely, I don't know what it is, but it actually I think makes me play better. I don't know what it is. I think it's just because I'm more comfortable. Like
they've done studies on this, like people that wear makeup to exams and stuff do better in exams because it's like confidence and that kind of thing. Like
so usually day 1 I wear the sorry.
No, you could continue. Yeah.
So usually day 1 I wear like the clout shirt, like I wear my Austria shirt or my Team New Zealand shirt, you know, because like, you know, like because I want to get the jitters out while I was wearing just like, you know, like the, you know, that shirt, and then I'll wear like an extra like, you know, nice like button up shirt on day 2 or something like that, or like just because I'm like, you know, like feel a bit nicer, like wear the pants on day 2 even though it's a little hot, you know, like stuff like that. It's like because it makes me feel a bit better. I'm a bit more confident, a bit more relaxed, like stuff like that. I think actually is. There's lots of like little weird things, you know, that everyone's different as well, you know, like some people it's like I make sure I roll these dice, you know, like, or you know, stuff like that. It's just different. It's a thing.
What I'm hearing is I should wear a tux to my next tournament, and I'm just gonna go 500 huge.
You got to put on the leather tape.
Oh yeah, true, the leather. Yeah, that was honestly my mistake. Last 2 tournaments I played here, the list was called Leather Daddy because it just didn't change the name. So yeah, it's clearly where I went wrong.
Yeah. One of my things is that it's almost kind of out of necessity is I have to wear something with heels because I am shorter than most men, and it means that I can actually see over the terrain. Because if I wear flat shoes, I can't see some units.
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that, but that's a valid thing, right? Because I've like in my lower moments have forgotten models were in places, and it has cost me. So
in my game against Logan, I didn't walk around the table to see if his Beast of Nuga was on an objective. I was like, you scored 5 pro, and he's like, nah, it's 10. And I was like, there's a Beast of Nuga there. I was like, cool. Move on. So,
I thought you were gonna say you lost a Gatling despoiler, and I was like, come on.
No. It was just a beast, but still a trunky boy, just not as trunky.
Yeah.
Oh man. For the next question, what is your like overall vibe and like perspective of the community? You've kind of touched on this a little bit. They're quite welcoming, but you know, obviously there isn't that many females in the hobby. So like, has there been any like interesting things? Has it been welcoming for the most part? Like, what is like kind of like your feelings there?
Yeah. So again, I mean, I was super surprised. I feel like I don't know. There's been I've seen some sort of different corners of the community as well, and so like the worst of it is when there's people turning up to tournaments and they don't have antiperspirant or are not wearing clothes that fit them correctly, and it's sort of like but I feel like sort of it just depends on where you go. Like I feel like for the most part, like the Chile and the Kraken tournaments, people are pretty well put together and are bathed, and we're usually in venues that have air conditioning, which is really nice. because yeah, everyone sweats. Just bring some deodorant with you, bro. Like that's all you got to do. No one's gonna care if you start spraying it. They're gonna be like, "Cool, thank you."
Yeah, no one's ever going to be mad about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as far as sort of like attitude, it's been cool to have like a lot of people come up to me to just ask me questions and not assume that I don't know anything. Like they will ask, do you play? And which is a totally reasonable question to ask anybody who is just there, regardless of their gender. Because you don't want to start spouting a bunch of stuff at them that they're just like, whoa, what are you talking about? But then even then, like when I'm like, oh, I haven't played much. I play a little bit, but sort of more casually. But of course I'm here. And they will quite happily just yap away about, their army or anything to do with Warhammer really. And even if I'm not 100% following along, it's still cool to sort of watch them even just talking about like something they're so passionate about. And as time goes on, I'm able to pick up more and more of it without getting lost. So that's cool too. There is sort of some of the more interesting things is I quite a couple of times, and probably some of the people who are watching now have been guilty of this, of asking if Logan drags me along. No, he does not. He couldn't make me do anything if he tried.
It's publicly out him, okay?
Yeah, no. But yes, of course, it is sort of the assumption that most women wouldn't be interested in Warhammer. It I don't know. I guess inherently feels like quite a masculine hobby, even though it's putting together little toys and painting them and playing make pretend. But it's also lots of war tactics and stuff like that. So that's where it kind of offsets it, I guess. But there is, I guess for me, there's always been a base level interest in nerd things. So it was kind of natural for me to end up here. It was always going to happen. It was a matter of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably because my D&D group hasn't played a game of D&D in like 3 years, so I gotta fill in the weekends with something. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just chose the most expensive hobby you could pick.
Yeah. But yeah, no. But then it's been cool to sort of then also have people come up to me and ask like, oh, how do I get my partner more interested? Like, how do I get them to sort of take that next step? Because there is interest, but I want them to join me here, which is like such a cool thing because I'd never want Warhammer to be that, oh, this is guy time. Like, it's really not. It's not that kind of hobby, I don't think. So yeah, I'd really, really love it if I don't know, even me being here and talking, and some of the things that people have heard will kind of encourage people even to just show up, because it is so much fun, even just watching, and I don't know, being around that vibe that is at tournaments.
Yeah, it's a very infectious vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
Whenever you're around a bunch of people that are really passionate about anything, it's kind of hard not to get like just like kind of immersed within it, because like if they're so passionate about it, like I'm not even a huge lore person. Like I've read a lot of the Horus Heresy books and stuff, but like I wouldn't call myself like very big on the lore, and I don't try and retain it very much. I only have so much brain space, so like rules is pretty much the only thing that I can keep in my mind. But like I do enjoy it, but like there's people that know verbatim entire arcs of prime arcs and stories of specific characters and stuff. So like the fact and it's just like there's so much to this hobby, and like there's no wrong way to do it, which I think is really cool, and like just I think really important. Like some people play the game just so they can play with this character that was in a book, like they want to play with Fulgrim, cool, because he has some badass things in the book. Same with like Farsight, the Farsight books, badass. I wish Farsight was almost as cool as he was in the books on the table. He like literally bare fist knuckles a greater demon to death, and then he has 4 attacks in the game. It's like good.
Well, he started off good. He was just too like I have traumatizing memories of like Cam Rapid ingressing him tank shocking when tank shock was from strength, tank shocking stuff to death and like piling into other shit with solo Farsight. He was good. He just flew too close to the sun.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Sweet. There's been some really good chatter in chat, but there's not been really any questions. But thank you everyone for chatting in the comments as well. Like it's been really cool. There's been a bunch of good talks. Some good questions been asked about 40k, and then thank you everyone in the chat for answering those questions in chat. Really appreciate that. It's been really cool. Tate, do you have another question that you want to ask Valkyrie? You don't have to. I'm more asking.
No. I was like, did I tell you I had another question? It kind of touched on, I guess, my big question, because I did find the thing about being like you're like a player but not playing on the tabletop as part of the team. I found that dynamic really interesting, because like pairings is like a huge part of it. And I also thought like kind of extrapolating on it, like your meta knowledge was very good. Like like because we'll all be in that group chat and bouncing ideas around and stuff. And for someone like you haven't played a lot of those matchups, but you understand the vibe of how they go. So I guess that sort of just feeds into my sort of big talking point that I thought was interesting. Yeah.
I think that sort of thing, it just sort of comes with being exposed to it for long enough that you just sort of retain even just a vague memory of how something plays. But I realize as well, I didn't actually really answer the question about pairings, which is, I find it quite difficult to answer because it's kind of just like a gut thing. Because I can kind of like, I don't know, that's maybe, I don't know, whatever the flavor of autism that I have is just right for pairings. But
I believe it's called Dan Hayden autism.
But yeah, it's like it just sort of all fits together. It's like a puzzle. And so if people fill out their matrices, then it makes my job really easy somehow.
I love pairings. Pairings are so much fun. Like it's generally like it's such an interesting dynamic, and like gamification of a game that's all about like smaller precision things anyway. It just like adds like it's such a cool extra level in my opinion. That's why I think I fell in love with teams when I started doing pairings, because the first like 3 teams event I was the captain and the only person that knew how to do pairings, so I kind of had to learn it because of that. And then I just absolutely fell in love with it. And I understand what you mean by like the intuition. It's like you might have like, okay, this is like the base concept, like cool, but then it's like intuition and vibes and kind of just like understanding the flow of things. I think is pretty cool.
The other question I've thought of just now is when can we expect your playing debut on Benchwarmers? Probably like point, right? If you're playing more and you're getting
no, it'll definitely happen. But I'm not sure. I mean, it could be soon if we get enough people and I can play Custodes because I actually yet to play them, but from what people have said, they're one of the easier armies to learn.
As Tyler Silver's
So yeah, it's a matter of there being, I guess that's the thing is, yeah, it's team events, right? And so it's how, when the next one is going to be, that's going to kind of be convenient, because I don't know whether December is going to be viable, though I did kind of offer to be with the Heresy Boys if they need me.
Ooh,
for that.
Oh, so like just the Heresy teams, as in you're doing the patented Tait Hobie jump.
Learning from the best, right?
Yeah. Gotta play for the better team.
But no, I mean, it sounds like, well, because now Ryan was saying that he might be able to make it, because originally he wasn't going to. So maybe we will be able to cobble together an actual Benchwarmers team. But then who's going to be our coach?
I thought Chris was raising his hand for a second. Like,
no, it's just great. Hey, like, if I can make it, I'll come up and coach.
It's too late, you're locked in.
I love coming around to a game and just being like, and then just walking away.
Yeah, you're like, oh, interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't have done that.
No, you're not allowed to do that though.
Yeah, but the reaction it gets, it's just
yeah.
It's like in game where you just start randomly measuring things and you're like, oh yeah, that's that over there. Like, it's like, it's good fun.
Yeah, or you just start dropping your 6-inch deep strike stick, just like,
oh yeah,
you have 6-inch deep strike. You're like, no.
Yeah,
I don't even have anything in reserve.
I have a story where that came up. Like I ended up I've stopped doing it now because like, but I did exactly that where I used to, like, in my opponent's movement phase, like halfway through it, I'd start just like seeing like where 9 inches would like get me in places, and what I'd actually notice is a lot of players would end up just overextending like crazy, and I was playing orcs at the time, so like they would end up just getting closer and closer to me because I wanted to screen out like my storm boys or something. And then I realized like it's genuine mind games, and like this is actually not what you should do. So like, I ended up stopping doing it for that reason. But like, I started off doing it as a joke, and then it ended up like doing something. I was like, okay, I need to stop this now. Mind games are fun, but only if you're using them for the correct means. If you're trying to use them to gain an advantage, not so cool.
It's the pre-measuring in your opponent's turn is like a weird one because it's like give and take. Like, yes, there's a mind game, but it also can give away your actual plan, which is part of why I stopped. Because you can be pre-measuring stuff, and then they'll and they're like, fuck, like they've you know, like, they forgot about rapid ingress, and me measuring shit out reminded them about it. You know, like but
though to be fair, I usually remind my opponent is like if there's like a really, really obviously bad rapid ingress spot for them, I'm like, you do know I can rapid ingress, right? And they're like, and just give them the opportunity. So, similar to what Logan did with me, is like, I can get a 15 this turn. I was like, okay, now I've got to figure out how that happens, but like you've given me like the seed to get there. Like stuff like that, I think is a good way of just being a good sport, right? You know, like you don't want to win from a gotcha. You don't want to win because like, oh, I forgot you had that unit in reserves, especially like turn 4 and 5 reserves, like stuff that's gone back into reserve. That's like really trips people up often.
Yeah, the nicest guy in New Zealand, 40k. Again.
I try my best.
It's NZ Stephen Box.
I wouldn't. I don't know how I feel about that. Cool.
There was a good question about green flags.
Yes. Yes. Stephen Morris's question. Let me just bring that up.
How organized this podcast is. We even talked about that one before.
Yeah. No. Now my thing isn't letting me get back onto Facebook. 1 second. Yeah.
I might. Ugh.
Yeah. Sorry for the technical difficulties here. So Tate, what was your record at the end of the day?
No, we're not going there. We broke even. We broke even. We had 4-4, but
Nice. Yep. Sorry,
we
I was just trying
I
to
don't
fill
know.
in
Like it
time.
was a combination. No, it's a reasonable time filler. We can yeah. So like not obviously not what I wanted or like super expected. There are a few like it was just a mix of like some kind of bad stuff all around. Like my game one, I made a pretty bad mistake, which was sort of 100% my fault, but just kind of cascaded the whole thing. Like I kind of misunderstood through no fault of my opponents. Like he was perfectly clear and everything. I sort of misunderstood how the rule worked and cost me very dearly. And then I had like a very close game into a pretty bad matchup, which is like Wraith spam Necrons for EC. If they just shove the Wraiths before you have pledges, is really bad. And then I had a 1-point loss into that, which was pretty gutting. And then I had the worst. My round, I can't remember what round it was, but I had a game into Orcs, which was like the worst dicing I've ever received in my life. Where like even my opponent was like, I lost by 2 points, and he was like, I feel like you should have like 15-5'd me up, but just like I had 3 flawless blades and 2 spawn, killed 0 storm boys, like both hit the storm boys, none of them died, and then I had failed a rerollable desperate escape, which like which blew up a rhino and did a whole heap of other shit, which on its own would have been fine, but it's just like we had Snickrot hit 6 Noise Marines, and I AOC'd them, so they're saving on 3s. He has 6 attacks, I'm rolling 3 ups, and then I CP re-rolled 1, because 1 Noise Marine living was a 10-point swing, and all 6 died. We had both kill rigs explode and take a Demon Prince and Lucius with them. It was just like, it was like chaos. Like it got to the point where like there was a point at which I was tilted, but then it kind of swung back to like another thing would happen and would just be like cracking up. Because I'm like, bro, come look at my dice. And like 12 1s and 2s, like it's just
if you're not laughing, you're crying.
Insane. And then he tried to buy me a beer afterward, and I was like, I can't even drink beer. It was
just a shot of tequila, please.
Yeah. Saddest yet funniest experiences of my life. Yeah, and then that kind of like it just sort of wasn't in a good headspace after that. Had like a pretty reasonably close game versus Guard, where like again I think I probably should have lost that one, but it was like still close, and I made a few silly mistakes because I was like a bit frustrated. Which is like so it's a good lesson of not letting stuff get to you, I guess. Like
short memory, right? Like that's like in a lot of sporting things, like it's just like have a short memory, like the next thing's coming up now. Like
yeah. But I played quite a few good players, which was like was really cool. And all my opponents were, but bar I will not call. There was one game where the opponent was not great, but the rest of them were like awesome. Like the Orcs, the guy I played on Orcs made that game bearable. Like he was an awesome opponent. Laughed a lot at my dice, but it felt like he was laughing with me, not at me. So
yeah.
But yeah, we shall regroup, we shall recover, we shall never speak of it again. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Best of luck for your next event. But yeah, so we'll get on to the listener questions, which is one question. Thanks, thanks Stephen Morris for bringing up your question, which is, what are green flags from stores or TOs running events? We'll point this specifically at Valkyrie first, and then I think if we have other things to say, we can bring them up as well.
Yeah. So the sort of the first thing that I would look at is the venue. It's always air conditioning is like a big plus, but if I know that like not everywhere can have it, so it just has to be decent airflow. There's really nothing worse than a room full of very sweaty men, and we like can't leave. So yeah, there's that. But then also definitely a place that's clean. I mean, like more even just than generally being sort of tidy and easy to move around, but a clean bathroom, 100%. If there's not a nice bathroom, I will not show up to your event. It is a must. But yeah, so sort of beyond that, because it can be a little hard to control those things sometimes. There's a lot that I think organizers and stores can do to make their tournaments like more approachable. A lot of that is just transparency of information. Just like make sure all of your all the stuff that the players need, the players pack, when everything is starting, how to get there, where you can park, all that kind of stuff is just upfront, and that people can find it really, really easily. Yeah, whether people can bring food with them or if there are food places nearby. Especially anyone who has sort of dietary requirements, they're going to need to be able to either bring their own or know that there's something nearby that they can get without like, I'm going to have to drive 20 minutes to go and get some food and then I don't get to have a lunch break. What else? I guess one thing that I'd sort of maybe like to see a little bit more of is sharing some guidelines and rules around being non-playing team members in teams events, because it did seem like some people are a little unfamiliar with what they are and are not allowed to do. I do see some people sort of come to those events as they're sort of the sixth player of their team, and they're like, oh, I don't get to do anything. And it's like, well, there actually is a lot that you could be doing right now, but I'm guessing you don't actually know what your role really could be. So yeah, I think sort of sharing that information would be really helpful, and maybe encourage more teams to bring coaches. Yeah, that's all I can think of at the very moment. I'm sure I'll think of more, but yeah, you guys, what's yours?
One thing I really like, I really liked what you said about like just having like transparency of like all the information that you might need. Like that's, I think, a really important one. Like it's good to know, where's the food, where's the parking, what time are you actually opening in the morning if I'm going to get there early, like if I'm flying in that morning, what time can I get there? All these kind of things can be really good. Or if I'm traveling up that morning, all that kind of stuff. And like what time are you closing as well? It's like, okay, what time do I need to make sure that we have dinner booked for that night? Like all these kind of things that can actually be really helpful, especially in a team's environment, but even in a singles event, just be really helpful to plan your weekend. Because like a lot of it is like, it's often like, I wouldn't say intense, but like a lot goes on, like I feel like I'm one of those people that's like, I'm an introvert 90% of the time, but when I'm an extrovert, it's like, I really want to like spend that time. But then as soon as I'm done, I'm like, cool, back to my hole. Whereas like 40K tournaments are that time, they are that 10%, right? Where I want to like be out and be with my friends and all that. But then, so like being able to plan that is actually really important for me. Cause like if I can't do that and then I'm wasting my time, it's like, I don't get to see these people very often, so that stuff can be quite impactful. One shout out that Dan said is shout out to Hobby Master for keeping a can of deodorant in the bathroom for the men's. I was like,
yes,
absolutely,
such a good idea.
That's a novel idea. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
They've also got the Magic the Gathering players though, so
Did it actually save me one day? Well, not me, but I picked up my son after he'd played paintball that day and brought him back to a tournament that Logan was playing. He stunk. Sorry, Eli. This is on the internet now, but yeah, I was like, go into the bathroom. I know there's deodorant in there.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. And it's like little things like that. Just having a can of deodorant on hand could be like a good thing to like have like a tournament pack where you have, a packet of paracetamol, a packet of ibuprofen, some extra waters for those people that might actually be genuinely dehydrated. Like just having that there's not for everyone, but if people need it, they have access to that kind of stuff, you know. Just little things like that could be like a really nice little addition to have for events as well, because Michael's kind of lead on question is what can TOs do to make events more inclusive for people, and it's like stuff like that I think could be really important as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that probably is like it is the biggest thing, right? Is having all of the information so that people can like they feel like they have agency and can they know where the accommodations are being made and where they need to make their own. Yeah, I mean, I think sort of beyond that, it's kind of hard to. There's not a lot that needs to sort of change as far as encouraging people to come that wouldn't have already, that basically haven't already made the decision that they're not coming because they've got the wrong idea about what competitive Warhammer really is. Because I think what I've found sort of generally is that the more competitive spaces are actually nicer than the sort of more casual. That people are generally, there's a lot more sportsmanship going around and people know their rules. It's a lot less frustrating. Everyone wants everyone to have a good time. No one's really butthurt about losing. Unless you're Tait, I guess. But
I almost put my hand up, but I was gracious in defeat. Okay,
I'm sure
you don't want to get a drink with your salty opponent if he's not somewhat good about it. I hope.
You just see Tait walk into the bathroom and then just someone just screaming, and then comes out and he's just like, well put together.
Yeah, then I come out of my tux for day 2.
Yeah, my boy. Sweet. Yeah. Tait, do you have anything to add? Anything that you'd like anything that you like at tournaments, or things that you'd like to see at tournaments?
I think aircon was a really good shout. I think so. There's a couple of things. One of them is not. I guess out of the more tournament is less interesting, but it flows more neatly into your question. Is like tables, or like if you have tables that have space around the edge, so you can put your dice tray, you can put dead models, you can, as a GSC player, you know, you don't put your models back in the box, they all go around the edge of the table because they're all coming back. So like having space to do things, you put your water on the table, that kind of stuff. People that like to score with paper, or like good height. So like the tournament I played at in the weekend, the tables were sort of a little bit lower, which was actually quite good because it kind of touches into what you were saying about not being able to see stuff. Like you can see everything on those tables, and I thought it would be kind of like bad for the back, but it obviously sort of hit like a middle ground somewhere. So I think having like tables that actually aren't just like the game board, but allow for the stuff you need to play, like to play the game that is not actually part of the game. And then the other thing that you kind of touched on that I think was interesting was you said a couple of things about when you were first coming to the events, and Logan had described coaching as like getting people water and that kind of thing, and then later you had said that you were would have liked to see like some guidelines from TOs about what coaching actually is, because I think there's like quite a big misconception, right, about the kind of role of a coach being sort of just like a water person or a, you know, and being on the sort of playing side of having played on teams that do have coaches and don't have coaches, like the difference it makes as a player is massive. So I guess that maybe making that clear for teams that, you know, like the option to, or like the role of being a coach is actually like you are a part of the team and you are contributing a whole heap, and the players will like really appreciate that contribution. I think is like a cool way to get more people involved, or like different kind of involvement, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with the table note as well. We actually have like a really nice one at home that has just like a little extra section on the end of like the play area that stuff can just sit in. So even like if dice bounce out, they're not bouncing onto the mat as well. They're actually getting contained in that area. Yeah, and having a little lip means that stuff doesn't just go flying off the side of it as well. But yeah, that's pretty tricky. Like, you know, when you're taking things to an event and they all need to pack down into vehicles and stuff like that. There's only so much you can ask for, right? We just need a big dedicated Warhammer event center.
The dream.
Melbourne. So, like, yeah, if everyone moved to Melbourne, or Charlie and Pato build a custom built event center, just
one
do
day.
it.
The tactical chili empire.
Yes, yeah, the chain will be in every major city.
Oh, that'd be excellent. I'd be down for that. I'd allow it.
Allow it. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I guess with that though, we've been going for 2 hours now. It's been a very, very fun chat with you, Valkyrie. I really appreciate you coming on. It's been an absolute blast. Yeah, thank you for spending your time with us.
No, I had a lot of fun too. Thanks for having me on.
Cool. And yeah, hopefully people got some pretty interesting information about Valkyrie and her like perspective on 40k, which has been, I think, really interesting personally. But yeah, otherwise, I'm sorry, Tait.
You go, Valkyrie. I think
I was going to leave off with one more note. That if there's anyone, I guess, listening, or anyone who is listening talks to about coming along to tournaments, who has been sort of on the fence about it, is that I will always be a friend for you to come and chat to if you're ever sort of unsure of yourself while you're there. Just come find me and I'll come chat to you about anything, even if you don't want to talk about Warhammer for a minute.
Fair. That's actually very fair. Yeah. Very cool. Awesome. Well, with that then, I think we will close it off for today. Tait, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I mean, not really, but I guess other than thank you for coming on, it's been awesome, been cool to have because I don't think I've seen very many podcasts do this kind of it's almost like a community spotlight, which is kind of where I was going to segue. I think it could be a cool thing for us to do more of those going forward, like interview kind of community members. If people are interested in that. But I guess that's all my closing thoughts, I guess.
Yeah. Comment in the comment section of this video if you want more stuff like this. Like I think it's really interesting. I think it's really a cool thing to bring out people in the community and stuff like that, and just interesting people in 40k in New Zealand. Like there's a lot of us, so you might as well spotlight the good ones. Sweet. Anyway, we'll catch you guys all next time. Thank you all for being here.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.